Hi everybody, it's Thursday. Hope everybody's doing good. It doesn't look too bad tonight. It's still a little blurry, but what else is new? Lens a minute. Alright, there we go. See what happens when we put on autofocus. We got a fun set of cards for tonight. Give me a second. Set this up. Want to make sure I have everything in order. Going to be using the Ice Cream Corner Suite. Hey, do. Stupid camera. I keep saying I have to get a new one and I don't. I guess I should. So these are the projects we're going to be making tonight. And we're using the Ice Cream Corner Suite. And let me get these out of here because the light reflecting. And it's a pretty suite. It's got the stamp set, which is sweet ice cream. Really pretty DSP. Hey, Nan. And a Blackberry Bliss striped ribbon, which I did not use. And the Ice Cream Corner sprinkles, which I didn't use. They're really cute, too. I really just focused on the stamp set and the matching punch. You can see it's the little ice cream cone. It's really cute. So before we get started, I just wanted announcements. Just want to remind everybody that I do have a Patreon account, Gal Friday Stamping, and for the $3 classes, I'm actually working on coloring. Where's my other little girl? Hold on one sec. I don't have, oh, here she is. Nope, don't have her right in front of me. But here's blends and pencils. And this dress was done in blends, and then I did her again. What had happened was I started my video and it froze on me, so I had to redo her. So that's my coloring class, and like I said, it's $3 a month, and I do 3 videos a month. Last month it was the face, and I did the skin, actually, in blends, pencils, and Copics. So this month I'll be doing the clothes in blends, Copics, and pencils. So if you're interested, you can head on over and search for Gal Friday Stamping. Now these are the cards I'm going to be making tonight, along with this cute little gift box. If you place a $25 order by the 7th, and as you can see, my printer is acting up, you'll get these make and takes for free. So let's get started. I think we'll work on this one first so I can show you a little trick. Because this big ice cream cone here, hi Judy, how are you? This ice cream here is using the punch. So I just want to show you a quick and easy trick so you can use that punch without wasting paper. So this card is actually 11 by 4 1/4, and it is scored at 5 1/2. Now I will have the PDF for all these projects in the group. I'll say tomorrow afternoon. I can't promise the morning, so I'll say afternoon. So you don't really have to keep track of the measurements. They'll all be in your PDF. Now I have a layer of basic white, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then I'm using a sheet of the Sprinkles Designer Series paper. The other side has ice cream cones, which is cute too. But I'm using the Sprinkles, and that's 5 by 3 3/4. So all I am going to do is layer these layers down. Let's get the DSP together. I'm not going to pop these layers up. These layers are just going to lay on the front of the card. And we just want to make sure I have 1/8 of an inch. Just make sure I have the right one. And I didn't. So let's try this again. And we're going to make sure these are even all the way around. I did this to my card this morning too. I did not have it laid perfectly straight. It was one of those days. Some days it happens. I can't draw a straight line, let alone place a card layer straight. But usually if you can get your 3 sides equal, the 4th one will fall right into place. And listen to me talking about trying to get it straight. Okay, just like that. Now the next layer, and I should say this is Pool Party. And then I have Bermuda Bay. And this Bermuda Bay is 4 1/4 by 3. And then I'm going to layer it with Whisper White that I ran through the cut and emboss with the 3D Tasteful Touches embossing folder. And we're going to layer these two together. Now I would suggest you use liquid glue when layering your embossed paper down so you don't damage the embossing with the seal. And we're just going to layer this together. And it also makes it easier to move it around so you can get it on there even. And we're going to pop this up onto the front of the card. So does everybody have nice weather, or do you have snow? We have snow. We had 2 storms come through, and I'm just going to pop this up, centering it on the card. Our first storm brought about 6 inches, and then we had another storm overnight, and that brought us about probably 12. It was a good amount of snow. It was a pretty snow, though, I have to say. Okay, so there's our layers. Now this, I actually fussy cut out of another sheet of the DSP for the front of the card, just so I can lay it and glue it down to the front. But now with this ice cream cone That one we have to stamp. And what I did was I'm using the Stamparatus to make it a little simpler, and it just aids in not wasting any paper when you have to punch it out. I mean, because if you, it'd help if I opened it. If you wanted to cut one color for the ice cream and the other one for the cone, I mean, you could do it, but the easier way is I punched with the punch, and this is how the punch is laid out. Then what I did is, and I have them affixed to my Stamparatus right now, so I'm going to leave them, but I laid it down, put my stamps, I put down my ice cream cone stamp first, and got it stuck on my Stamparatus. Then I laid the ice cream and attached it to this side. So now this way I know that it's going to stamp in the correct place so I can punch it. And having the stamps on the two different sides also helps because I can add the ink from the ink pad without worrying about it getting on each other. So we're just going to make sure that this is lined up. This is my little piece of paper. And I just want to get that centered, because if I know this one is right, then the ice cream cone will be right also. So what I want to do is grab a piece of scrap, because I actually stamped off on the ice cream itself. So I'm just going to take my Bermuda Bay and I'm going to ink up the ice cream. Just get a paper towel. Got some on the board. And I'm just going to lay my scrap down and stamp it once. Lift it up. And just get that off. And we're just going to stamp it again. Make sure it's stamped really well. So there's our ice cream. Then I'm going to do the same thing. Here's the ice cream cone right here. I'm grabbing my soft suede, and on my little box, I did stamp off, and you really can't even see it. So I am just going to do this ice cream cone full strength, and we're going to stamp this down. Make sure it's nice and stamped, just like that. Put this aside. Close up the ink because you know I make a mess. And now our ice cream and our cone are fixed. So, no, it's not. Look at that. I stamped it the wrong way. I put it on the wrong way. How could I have done that? Wow. Let me try that again. I placed the... I can't believe I did that. Okay, let's try this again. So we have the ice cream. How about that? I should have ran that by. Okay, so we're just going to line this up. Now you can see how I lined it up. Okay, so here is the ice cream. I'm not going to be able to do it. Hold on. I just want to make sure. Now, isn't that embarrassing? Okay, so that is that. And then I'm going to put the ice cream cone in there. I had it facing in the wrong direction. Okay, so let's try this again. Let me get another piece of paper. Now you can see how easy it is to make a mistake. Simple as can be. Okay, let's try that again. We're going to do the ice cream cone first. The first time I did it, it came out perfect. It worked perfectly. Now I'm showing everybody, and I made a blunder. What else is new? Hey, Debbie. Hi, Ruth. How are you? You're getting snow tonight, huh? Nope, not us. Heather, my daughter, who is on Long Island, was saying that they're expecting snow over the weekend again. I hope we don't get any. I've had enough. I do not want to shovel another shovelful of snow. I'm done. Okay. So here is, we're going to try this again. Okay. So now we have it stamped yet again. Take two. Now I'm probably going to have to trim this. Yes. Trim this a little bit. See if I did it wrong. Nope, did it right. Okay, so now we can line up our ice cream. And you got to wiggle it around because it's not completely perfect. The ice cream cone, even when I did it before, it's off just a smidge. And punch it out. Now I am working with the basic white, and I have to say, unfortunately, I don't like it as much as I like the Whisper white. Hi Julie, how are ya? So, I don't know if anybody's used it yet, but I am not, I like it, but I'm not crazy about it. So, just a forewarn. Okay, so now we have our ice cream cone, and we are going to put some sprinkles on this cone. And I am going to use the Bermuda Bay. And we're going to use it full strength so they really stand out. And we're just going to make sure I'm on the screen. Some nice little sprinkles. And then for this I was going to say snow cone. I'm talking about snow. We're going to do the ice cream cone with the soft suede again. And it actually has the little ridges in the ice cream cone. We're going to do that full strength. Make it a cute little waffle cone. Close up the ink. And then we can head back to our card. So I'm going to take the ice cream cone that I fussy cut from the designer series paper, and we're going to adhere this right to the front of the card so it's laying flat. And then for the ice cream cone, I'm going to adhere the ice cream to the cone, and then we're going to pop this up onto the front. Let me just trim this a little. It didn't give me a nice clean punch. Okay, so let's pop this up. Just like that. Okay. Yes, it does take longer. Plus, I notice, now this is, and I don't even have any, let's see, everything I have, I don't really think, and I'm going to check. Yes, I do. Here's a Whisper White. I've been using the basic white. You can see I mean, you can't tell really. The color is off a little bit. So it's the Whisper White and the basic white are two different colors, which is fine. Whites aren't white, but you have to be careful. If you're going to use Whisper White, you have to stick with Whisper White because it is off a little. The other thing I find is the Whisper White, I've always compared it to Express It for Copics. It has a nice, smooth finish. It helps with the blends, even Copics, blending better, where the basic white has a smooth surface, but it's not as smooth. And a perfect example is the coloring. This is done on Whisper White. This is done on basic white. The quality of the blend is completely different. So there is a difference. It's not that I hate it, but I don't like it as much as the Whisper White. So that's all I can say. Like I said, it's not inferior, but it is not the same. Okay, so I just want to I didn't cut my sentiment, and I think it is about 1 inch. So let's just bear with me while I cut my sentiment. I think it's 1 inch. I'm going to take a little bit off. I think it's about 7/8 of an inch. This is the one thing I did not do. Okay. And then we just got to trim it so it's nice and straight. Don't mind me. I was going to get this cut, and I never did actually, so sorry about that. So I just wanted to get my little sentiment, and it is 7/8, and I did it 3 inches so it fits across this layer here. And I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. I'll just pull one from the garbage. And I am going to grab my sprinkles again. Get my sprinkles done first. And I'm doing the sprinkles again in Bermuda Bay and also adding some Blushing Bride. But I am going to stamp off for the sprinkles just so they are, and I just want to make sure this is going to fit. I don't think it is. Yep, it'll be a tight squeeze, but it'll fit. So I'm just going to stamp my sprinkles on this layer. Actually stamp off, because I don't want them as dark as the sentiment is going to be. So I'm just placing them random. And then we're just going to give this a quick scrub. And then we're going to jump to the Blushing Bride. I figured I'd use Blushing Bride to pick up the pink in the ice cream cone. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Yeah, you're right, Ruth. They really should have pooled the demonstrators. You talk about, okay, Ruth, you talked about smearing your projects. Look what I did. The stamp did not stick down to the paper, and my hand jerked, and I got a double image. I mean, that's how, how you usually have to peel the image off your stamp. It didn't do that, and I ended up getting a second image. So I think it's going to be a learning curve. I think the problem we've had is we've been using Whisper White for so long. We're just so used to it. We just have to learn how to use the new product. And I think it's just going to be a learning curve for us. Okay, so I'm just adding my sprinkles just to make it look like confetti. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to stand up for this because it is going to be a close stamp. Hopefully I'll get it straight. Okay. Okay, now see, this one is sticking. Oh, but it didn't. It wasn't stuck. It moved. So, yes, that is exactly what happens. Okay, we're going to give that a second to dry. I'm just going to make a quick bow. Hold it between your thumb and your pointer. And then you're going to wrap it around your two fingers and then hold these two pieces down. Make sure you cut enough. Take your tail between your two fingers underneath this here piece of ribbon. Pull your tail through, and then you're going to hook it over, if I can keep hold of it, over this loop, through that loop, and back out. And that's all done to the loop that you're putting between your finger. And then just pull it tight. When you take it off your fingers, if you can get it off your fingers, it's a little too tight. There we go. You can hold your little tails down. Decide where you want to cut it. Now this ribbon you have to be careful because it does pull. And then you can adjust your little loops. Okay. Keep that little piece of ribbon. You may need it. I'm crazy when it comes to little strips of ribbon. Okay, so let's get back to our card. We're going to pop this up onto the front, and I'm just going to tuck it just a little tiny bit under the point of that ice cream cone. So you can see on this card, it's just overhanging a teeny tiny little bit. So I'm just going to make sure that it's even. And let's move it over. And there we go. Is that even? Yep. And then we're going to grab some glue dots, which I'm just about to the end of. Everywhere I go, my crafting buddy has hair all over here. He must be shedding. And then we're just going to attach our ribbon. And that's the outside of our card. Now I did add, and these are not in the catalog anymore. They're the sparkly enamel dots. I'm trying to use them up so that it was perfect for these cards. And that's the wrong size, so let's just see if I can't get that off. Grab the little one. Is that the right one? Nope. I guess it's the middle size. Okay. So for the inside, I made it very simple. We have happy birthday with sprinkles on top. So we have our with sprinkles on top. And as you can see, I just put sprinkles down the side. So let's again grab this scrap piece of paper and our sprinkles. If I would have thought I should have done it when I was working on the sentiment. And now we're just going to put them on randomly. Make sure you keep turning that stamp so you don't have the same repetitive stamp. Be careful, because like you can see, I just put a blue dot in the middle. So we'll try that again. Never fails. I think I do that at least once a day. I did it again. Can you believe that? And I have nothing to put on there to hide it. All right, give me a second. We're going to do this quick. Usually it's my finger that does that, but you know what? I'm going to use this one because it may have been, yep, it may have been the paper that was, the scrap paper that was pushing up. So let's do this. Okay, so we're just going to keep turning this because we don't want the sprinkles to all be in the same direction. Move this up. My Bermuda Bay is really, really juicy. So I just have to be careful. All right, let's wipe this off. Never fails. Thanks, Debbie. Hi, Angela. In the 70s? Get out of town. I think we were 27 today for a while. The sun was warm, but it was about 27, so that's pretty cold. Okay, we're going to go back to our Blushing Bride. And we're going to do the same thing with the Blushing Bride. I'm going to put it this way. We're just going to stamp off. And add our sprinkles. Okay, got through that. Now the sentiment. Hopefully we won't make a disaster on the sentiment, because we're just going to stamp on, whoops, in the Bermuda Bay with sprinkles on top. And we'll just put it right here across the bottom. There we go. And we'll adhere this. This is 5 1/4 by 4, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And if you weren't here when I mentioned, I will have a PDF for this in the group right here, probably around noon. I do have to run to the grocery store tomorrow. I'm going to have to trim this off a little bit. It's off, because we are out of a few things. Wow, that is really off. What the heck? How did that happen? I must have been off my rocker when I cut this. Okay, let's see. Back to the little cutter. Do a little trim job here. It's crazy. I was all set and ready to go. Just going to trim this up a little. I told you I am off today when it comes to straight lines. For some reason, my lines today have been completely off. And I actually think it's the white cardstock that I just cut. Let me see if I can fix this. That's what it is. I'm off on my white. Isn't that crazy? I'm so off today. Too funny. Never a dull moment, though. Okay, let's see if I can't get this straight. Okay. And then we're just going to adhere this to the inside of the card. Make sure we grab the right one. You've already seen me put in the center of the card into a card that I had already put together, which was quite fun. Okay, so there we go. Card number 1. Yay! It's done. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, if you're going to share the video, I do have whoever shares this week, please put down that you did share, because some of your settings, I don't see who shares it, and I'll be giving away some of the Christmas DSP, the Brightly Gleaming. So that is when I pick, that's going to be the prize. So there's card number 1. Phew, what a nightmare. So let's grab card number 2. Hopefully this one will go seamlessly. This one has the little pops, which is cute, and it is a little bit of a fun fold card, but I use the stitched nested dies for something a little different. And I am using the Pool Party and the Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to check this to make sure it is cut properly. And it is, excuse me. So we have the Bermuda Bay, the basic white, the Pool Party, pulling in the sprinkles again, and the Tasteful Touches embossing folder. You know, this is the largest of the nested, and this is the next size down, just so you know. And I'll have the I'll have all the measurements in the room on the PDF. So this card is actually 7 by 5.5, and I scored it at 2 3/4. So this is going to be our card base. On this left-hand panel, I'm going to use the basic white and the sprinkles. And I do have, so this will be 1/8 of an inch difference, I believe. Let me just see if I did 1/8. Actually, it's 1/4. So this is 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then 2 3/8 by 5 1/8. I think that's what I did. And we're just going to adhere these. Wanted to make sure I cut them right. I guess I can blame my cutter, huh? Not really. So we're just going to layer these together. And we're going to keep it flat. I'm not going to pop this side up. Okay. Let's see if I can't just scooch that over. There we go. And then we're just going to layer this on that side flap. And make sure it's about 1/4 of an inch. So you want to make sure you've got about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. It doesn't even slide right. Oh well. Now for the nested dies, we're going to, again, we're going to glue the embossed section right to the Pool Party. I usually like to pop this up just to give it a little bit more dimension, but I find that when you run it through the embossing, with the embossing folder, it thins the paper out. So I decided I would just adhere it. Thanks, Ruth. Thanks, Stu. Hi, Sharon. How are ya? Okay. So what I did is I wanted to line the points up, so I had a starting point to make it a little bit easier to make sure it's straight. All we have to do is worry about the space on the top and the bottom. But I actually line this corner up with the end of the DSP. So as long as this panel is on your card straight, this piece should be straight. And we're going to pop this up. So now, since we know we're using the corner, these corners as our place to line up, we know not to put our dimensionals on the other side of that corner. Makes it a little bit easier so you know where you need to put your dimensionals so you don't accidentally place it on the front of the card and attach it to the front and the back of your card. So I'm just going to put it sideways so I can actually get a measurement, and then we're lining it up corner to the edge of the DSP on both sides. And I think I'm just going to stand up a second so I can make sure I'm getting this straight and it's even. I think that looks good. So that's a good way, and then you won't have your dimensional show on the other side. Now we're going to layer. I'm actually going to adhere the pool party oval right to the center. And again, you can use the edges as your guide so you can get it in there straight. Just going to hold it up. It's got to go up a little bit. And adhere that to the front. And then we're going to adhere these two layers, because this layer we're going to pop up onto the front. So we're just going to make sure we have these. I like the glue because you get a second to wiggle it around. Just like that. And then we're going to pop this up onto the front of the card also. Lots of layers, lots of dimension. This would be probably one of those 70-cent cards. Although I think, I haven't been, I should really go because I think the postage went up, which I just find a little hard to believe because I sent out birthday cards for my daughter's birthday today and for my grandson's birthday today. And I sent them out, I think, about 2 weeks ago. And they still haven't gotten them. And they live on Long Island, so I don't think they should get a raise. But hey, that's what I think. Okay, so now we're going to do these cute little ice cream pops. Now, when I was starting to create this card, I actually was thinking about creamsicles. So I pulled out my bumblebee, and for the top, you can see it looks like there's a piece eaten out of, but it's actually for a 2-stamp stamp. So for the first layer, I'm just going to stamp off and then stamp on, just like that. And then I'm going to grab, oops, let me just grab this block. And this is the bottom of the stamp. And this one I'm going to do full strength. And you have to just line it up so it lines up with the sides. And I think I'm off a little bit. Whoops. Nope, not too bad. And then we're going to do the other one while I have it here. Let me just clean this off a little bit. Just going to give it a good wash because the yellow will come through on this blue. Okay. Make sure it's nice and dry. Then we're going to grab our Bermuda blue. And I think, let me just see. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll stamp off on the blue. And I'm doing the bottom half first this time. Now I'm going to do the top half. But we're going to do that one. And I'm going to stamp off on the Blushing Bride. But I'm just going to clean the yellow off again. This is actually a really cute set. It'll be a great shaker card. Yeah, we're going to make sure we stamp it off because I just don't care for that color. And we're going to line this up. I'm just going to move it over here a little so I can see. And there we go. There's our two ice pops. Now while I'm at it, we're going to stamp our ice cream sticks, which is really cute. And then I just have to quick fussy cut them. Sorry. I didn't even think about fussy cutting these out. But it'll go quick. And then we also have, for these cute little sticks, some wood grain that we can add to the bottom of these sticks. Just like that. Now for the card, I grabbed my ivory, and that's not it. There it is. And I actually gave the sticks a quick ivory wash. Now you want to be careful and not overcolor, because remember, your stamp pads are water soluble and your blends are alcohol based. So you want to just be a little careful because you will smudge your ink. So bear with me. The ovals are from the layering oval dies. The punch, the oval punch, I don't think I have, oh I do. The oval punch that is in the, I believe it's in the new catalog. I'll just grab a scrap here so you can see. This is the new oval punch that's in the new catalog. So you can see the comparison. That's the punch. And these are the layering ovals. So we're just going to do a quick fussy cut. And I know it's probably so boring. And I should have cut these out beforehand, like I said, and I didn't even think about it. I was all ready. I actually had, I guess it doesn't matter how early or how well I think I'm prepared. It seems like I have a blunder every single time. Oh well. Such is life. So I was talking about all the snow. I have to say, this is the second storm that we've had, and this storm was over 3 days. We got 2 rounds from a really giant storm that lasted. And the young man who came by the first storm asking if I needed snow removal, I giggled and I says, "Oh my gosh, yes, I need snow removal." Well, I got my back porch cleaned. I got half of my deck in the front cleaned. And here he comes up the walk through the snow. "Would you like your snow removed?" So I ended up getting my car cleaned out, the walk done, and the rest of my deck. So I was very happy. Okay, so we're just going to glue these cute little sticks. That wasn't too bad, right? Okay, let's get this cleaned out. We're going to glue this little stick here underneath, and we're just going to let that sit for a second because, like you said, it doesn't seem to, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just being too critical. Okay, so there's our 2 ice cream. We're going to let that sit. Let's just, thanks, Stu. Hey, Margaret, how are you? I saw you're in Ohio, right? You had snow today. I saw Corrine outside with her no sleeves in the snow, all excited. She can have some of the snow that we have. She's so funny. Okay, so we got our little bow. And again, we're just gonna clip our little tails. And that's all ready to go. Now for the bumblebee or the creamsicle, this one I am going to glue down to the front of the card. Just like that. And then for the blue and the pink popsicle, we're going to put that up on dimensionals. Now before I lay this one down, I actually can't really tell. Oh, maybe there you can. I actually have some Wink Stella on them. And this is the clear Wink Stella. So we're just going to give them a quick wash. And again, you want to be careful because your Wink Stella, actually, if you want to refresh your Wink Stella, all you have to do is add alcohol. So you're doing it over top of water-soluble ink. So you want to make sure you do it quick. But it just adds a little bit of sparkle to the front of the card, which is pretty. And then we're going to grab our glue dots, maybe. Grab our glue dots, and we're just going to add this little glue dot right to the center here. attach our ribbon. You can puff them up. Okay. So for the inside of the card, all I did was stamp Happy Birthday. And you just have to make sure that the Happy Birthday is hidden by the front of the card. So you want to make sure that it is above this corner here, because the layers, part of the layer is seen on the outside. So we're just going to grab our Happy Birthday, and we're going to grab our Bermuda Bay. Move that up. I'm going to stand up. It's so funny. Some days, just going to make sure this is straight. I could have my stuff here on my desk and things like disappear. Well, I was working on the cactus, my pickle. I was working on the cactus, and we're just going to adhere these layers together. And in the cactus set, there is a little tiny die that are the thorns, actually, I believe, of the cactus. And you can actually use the die, excuse me, to die cut so you can see the color underneath. Say this basic white, die cut this little piece and you could see the paper underneath. Well, I actually used it to put little pink flowers, if you remember looking at the card. And if I tell you, the die is probably about as big as the stamp. And I dropped it on the floor. What I thought was on the floor. And I could not find it. So I ended up looking through my trash can, and it landed in my trash. Little teeny tiny die. You find them in the weirdest places sometimes, and I didn't even hear it hit. Okay, so there, the Happy Birthday is hidden. We have the front of the card. And then again, I'm using these discontinued enamel dots. Everywhere I look, I see cat hair. And we're just going to add these to these corners here. And that's card number 2. Quick and easy. Cute, another cute Happy Birthday card. I had to restock my birthday cards because this month I have my daughter's birthday, and not Emma, who's in this group, a different daughter, my son's birthday, my grandson's birthday, my sister's birthday, and my birthday are all this month, February. Busy, busy. Or what should I say, 9 months before February was busy. Okay, so now we're going to make this cute little box. And instead of putting on a tag, I ended up using the ice cream cone as my tag. And this is a pretty double box. So it has a nice edge, very pretty gift box. And again, I'll have the dimensions and everything on the PDF. But for tonight, this is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. And I scored it at 1.5 and 3 on every side. So you can see it looks like a checkerboard full of squares. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Ruth. Thank you, Sharon. So what we're going to do is just fold and burnish all these lines, or these score lines, all the way around. And this is a nice little box, nice and sturdy. It's not flimsy. So now that we have all our lines taken care of, what we're actually going to do is cut out the outside 3 corners. Now for a box like this, you want to make sure when you're cutting your line that you cut so this little bump disappears, or cut that bump out. So let's go up this way, and we're going to just make sure that here's the bump. We're going to stay on the right hand side of that bump, so we take it out completely. So we're just taking off these outside 3 corners so we can create our tabs. So now we're going to cut down to the next score line, to our 3-inch score line, and then I like to cut out that little bump, and it's only a little tiny piece, if I can grab hold, but it's just enough. And we're going to do it on this side too, even though there's no bump. We're just going to tab that piece a little bit, so when these pieces get folded over, you don't have a ridge or anything. Same thing on these sides. Just take off a very little smidge, very teeny tiny, that big, just again, so when you fold them into the box, it doesn't bind up and make it where it looks crooked and you can't iron out the folds. So you're going to just, again, cutting out these 3 corners, just like this. Oops. Snip it a little more. This is going to be our tab, so you're going to stay on the right hand side of that bump. Cut that bump out. Same on here, this side. We're just going to wedge it a little tiny bit. We're going to head to this corner. Do the same thing, all 4 corners. Going to cut out these 3. Making sure we cut out the bump. Up, here comes my crafting buddy. What's the matter? And then we have our tabs here, so we're going to do this tab on the opposite side, keeping it uniform. Yep, I came in without you tonight, Egg. And we're just going to take out a little piece, just like that. And then we're going to do the same to this side. I'm going to cut this all the way down this time. Cut this piece off. And again, these are the 3 outside pieces. Don't hit my arm, buddy. Cut a little wedge. Cut a little wedge. Okay, let's get rid of the garbage. So this is what you're left with. I just want to That one we trimmed. You'll be able to see on the other side, like this piece right here. Can you see this little bump? You probably can't. But on this little piece here, there's a little bump from the score line. I'm just going to take that right off, because it may hang up inside. So now to make the box, I'm going to get my little cap, and you want to add your tearing tape as close to the score line as you can. Okay, and we're going to do this on all 4 tabs. You don't have to worry about the flap on this side of the flap because it's going to be covered on the inside. So we just need to, oh, look at that. Oh, well, I cut it the wrong way. See that? I should have cut it this way. But it doesn't matter. We're going to turn it over. It's so funny, I didn't even realize I did that. And we're the opposite side, this is the flap that's going to get tucked inside the box. That's where we're going to put our tearing tape. Here, Iggy, he's digging at my little tote. Okay, so now we have our tearing tape on. So now we can create our little box. So we're going to take off our paper. And I know a lot of people time because as you can see, sometimes I just don't get things right. No matter how hard I try. I must be camera shy or something. And we're just going to create our box, making sure that your corners are nicely lined up. Oops, as you create your box. Again, nice and lined up. It'll be a nice square box. Then we'll get this last tab in. So you can see that little error in not cutting it on the right side, the same side as all the others, isn't going to matter because it's going to be covered by one of these flaps. But before I do that, I just want to, you can tell just by looking that we're going to need to trim just a hair off of some of these, just to make sure it goes in here. And you'll see there's a little bump where the score line is. And then what you want to do is take your flaps, and again I do them one at a time, and we're just going to lay it in the box. Take your bone folder, make sure it is nice and stuck there on the bottom. Angela, I make mistakes all the time. There's no possible way that you can't. We're human. That's why they put erasers on the end of pencils. That's all I can say. And we're just going to do this to every side. Just like that. And there is there's our the bottom of our box. Nice heavy duty double walled box. Now we're going to do the same thing for the top. And if I would have thought I could have done this ahead. So I am sorry. This one is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, scored at 3/4 and 1.5. And we're going to do the same exact thing to the top as we did to the bottom. I'm going to cut all the way down to that score line, but it is these 3 outside squares that we're going to cut out, and you're going to do the same. You want to take those little bumps out, and I'm going to see if I can't get it right this time. So we're taking these outside corners, the 3 outside corners, cutting out the bump, tabbing them a little bit, go to the other side, so the top of the box is going to have double walled sides also. So it's a really nice gift box that you really could put something very, very special in. I know sometimes we create, just regular little boxes, but this one is a beautiful little gift box. It would be a great one to make with like the gold foil sheets. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to put our tearing tape close to the score line on all 4 tabs. Oops. The top of the glue works perfect, I should say, for cutting. And then the same thing, we're going to line this right at the bottom of this rectangle at the back. I can already see that I need to trim these a little bit. Go all the way around. It's warm in here tonight. Usually I'm cold. It's warm. The sun's been shining in this room all day today. And it was nice and warm. We had a lot of snow melt. Okay, so I'm just going to trim out this bump. That one looks good. This one, we're going to trim this one a little bit. And like I said, you'll be able to tell where you need to make a little trim, because you'll notice the score line. So now we're going to create the top of this box. Same way. And again, I'm not going to lie, we're going to do one at a time. I got glue on the end of my, all the way around. Lining up the edges. Oops. One more. Okay. Now we'll do the inside. Take off the tape. Just want to give it a nice get that edge right there so it's a nice clean edge. Whoops. I'm going to do this for all 4 sides. And there we go. That's our little box. Now I have a 2 1/8 by 2 1/8 Bermuda Bay and a 2 by 2 sprinkles. We kept the sprinkles all the way through on tonight's cards. It's really cute paper. The paper for this set, I wasn't too sure if I was going to like it, but you pull it out, it is really cute paper. So we're just going to layer this, and then we're going to pop it up onto the top of the box. Just like this. Making sure we have it centered. And then we're going to pull out our stamparatus again. And we're going to make this little ice cream cone. And if you weren't here at the beginning, I actually punched a template with the punch and lined up the ice cream and the ice cream cone. So I will have no waste of paper when it comes to punching out the ice cream. So like I said, my original box I stamped off with the soft suede, but this time I'm going to just stamp so we can see. And then we are going to grab the Bermuda Bay and ink that up, and I'm off the screen. But we're going to ink that up. I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper. Pull this out a little. I'm just going to stamp this off because I want to stamp the sentiment. So we're just going to give this a good stamp. And there we have our ice cream. Got lots to clean up. And it is set perfect for stamping our, just give it a little trim so it fits. So it's a perfect fit. You just have to finagle it, and it's a perfect fit for our little ice cream cone. Now I did not use any sprinkles on this one, but I did use the sentiment because I wanted to, do the sentiment on the ice cream instead of using a little tag. It goes perfectly in the Bermuda Bay, and it just says, "You melt my heart." So we're just going to center this on the ice cream. Just like that. We're going to grab one of these little gems And get rid of that. Now the ice cream cone. Okay, the little waffles on my cone. I don't know where it went. Isn't that crazy? I have every single one except the little, up here it is. Fell off. So now we have the little cone waffle. Ink it up. I need to replace this. This is one of the old ones. Need to replace it. I'm going to stamp. And I would suggest before you attach, I'll let you in on a secret. Before you attach, I would stamp your waffling and whatever else you want to do, because I tried to stamp the waffle after I had already glued it together, and part of the waffle got on the ice cream. So you want to do them separately. We're going to add a little bit of glue and attach our ice cream. And as that sets, we're going to grab the ribbon again. So you're going to put it through and under and through. Grab this tail, and we're going to wrap it around that piece that you just put through your finger. Now I just did this, make sure you give yourself enough ribbon, because if you come up short-handed, they're very, very hard to tie. Believe me, I know. I always try to save on my ribbon so I don't have too much waste, but it does not help. So make sure you give yourself enough length. Be careful with this ribbon because it does tatter on the ends. Okay, so let's grab our box. We're going to pop him up onto the, onto the top of the box. And it fits perfectly. And then grab a glue dot and add our ribbon. And then there you go. Cute little box for somebody's birthday present. And then you would have your choice of whatever card you would like. So I hope you liked tonight's projects. Sorry if I bumbled. Thank you, Dew. Thanks, Margaret. Yeah, they would make a great child's card. Thanks, Debbie. You're so welcome. I hope everybody enjoyed them. If you'd like these make and takes for free, just purchase $25 using this host code by Monday, and I'll ship them out to you. And you may want to head over to my blog, because for every $25 you spend, I have a rewards club. There's a tab at the top of my blog, so you can check that out. Thank you, Ruth, so much. You go into the freezer. I wish I had ice cream here. I don't have any. I think I'll be getting some when I go shopping tomorrow. They are cute. I love the paper. So have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining me. It was really nice having you. And I'll see you over the weekend. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Thanks, Nan. Thank you so much. Have a good night.